We're going to visit the Instant Pot again. I should say they are not a sponsor or anything. I'm just really intrigued with this thing, and it's going to take a few videos to really understand how it works. We've done a couple of pressure cooks. We did chicken and we did pork chops. It's got a slow cook button on it. Now I use the slow cooker quite a bit. Let's see what this one does with slow cooking. Now I've got to scale it back some. Since it's just me, I bought the 3-quart Instant Pot, quite a bit smaller than my crock pot. So you got to cut back on the recipe some, but we'll figure it out as we go. So let's go ahead and do a slow cook kind of a stew. How about that? Well, to start, I've got a couple of country style pork ribs left over from another project. I'm going to cube them up. I know pork stew is maybe a little unusual, but I've done this before. Works out great. We got a little extra fat on this that I think we'll trim off. Okay, there's our meat. I never have quite enough tools out here when I do these things, so hope you bear with me. Now, if you were going to do any of the vegetables raw, you certainly don't want to do what I'm going to do now. Use the same cutting board for meat and vegetables. But since everything's going to go in there and get cooked, no problem. I'm going to use a shallot instead of the normal onion, because I just happen to have one on hand, and we'll see what kind of difference it makes. Now, if we were in the crock pot, I'd probably use an entire onion. I'm going to go with about a half of one on this because, again, we're cutting back. Well, you know what I don't have? I don't have any mushrooms. Oh, man, mushrooms would be good in this. And let's see what a carrot looks like in there. We need a potato. I'm going to give it a quick scrub here. Nice thing about reds, you don't have to peel them. I love that part. So in the crock pot, I would normally be doing 2 or 3 carrots, probably 3 potatoes, but we're getting close. Oops. Didn't mean to whack the camera like that, sorry. We're getting close to the maximum fill line. Clove of garlic. We need some kosher salt, a little more than that I think, coarse ground pepper, And my go-to seasoning for stews and roasts, Montreal steak. That's probably plenty. It's going to need some water. I think maybe 2 cups as a start. We'll come back in a couple hours and take a look at it and see how it's doing. So operation is different this time. There's a button on here that says slow cook. See if I can find it. There we go. And we've got normal, more, less. I think we'll try normal, see how that works out. For time, I'm going to start out with it at 8 hours. I'm going to set a timer to come back and take a look at it in about 2 hours and see how it's progressing. So I've got the timer set to 8 hours. On the lid, there's a vent button right here. And since we don't want any pressure, we're going to push that in. That leaves the top open so it vents out. Okay, we'll latch her up. And there we are. Slow cooker in progress. We'll come back and see how it looks in a while. Hey, you're back. Well, a couple things happened while you were gone. I checked it a couple of times. I added some water to it. I added some celery. I forgot that I had some celery stalks around here, so I chopped up one of those and put in. And about a half hour before it was done, I added some barley to it. I really like barley in stews. It adds an earthiness to it. A little bit of chew it adds. It's a great grain, and it's wonderful in things like a stew. So anyway, we're about 8 hours into this. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, one little thing I learned about this. You know, when you're in the slow cook mode and there's no pressure on it, you can open the lid to check on it anytime you want. But when you do that, listen, hear that little click? That's the relief valve resetting to the pressure position. So when you put the lid back on, you've got to push that back down again. The default is pressure cooker. Okay, well anyway, let's see what we got inside. Well, that's looking pretty good. Let's see if we're tender. Oh yeah. Yep, look at that, goes right in. No problem. So, is it good? Well, let's see what we got. Oh, look, look at this. The pork, the ribs, absolutely falling apart. Potatoes, nice and tender. Here you can see the barley that we added in. Carrots, yep. It's really hot. Do you blow on your food? Does it really help? I kind of think so. Oh yeah. is good. Now, I do stews like this in the crock pot all the time, and they work great. The one difficulty is, I end up with 4 or 5 days worth of food. So the real plus I see to this, again, I bought the little one, 3-quart. I got enough for a big dinner for one, maybe for 2 nights. If I bake some bread to go with it, we can get 2 nights out of this. So this is actually, in my kitchen, going to be a big plus in terms of food waste. If I make enough food to last me a day or two, I don't end up throwing anything away. Make sense? So we've used it as a pressure cooker. We've used it as a slow cooker. It's worked great both places. I'm pretty hip to this. We'll do some more videos with it coming up. In the meantime, hey, thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, share, if you like it, of course. Those kind of things help us to get the channel moving. And, if I'm going to get rich and famous on YouTube, you got to help. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon. Peace.